I'm surrounded by people who allow me to feel like I can have an off day, but it's not going to let myself spiral into off days and off weeks. Being positive and focusing on the good has helped me to see the good and allow me to see how I can get through a negative situation.
Genevieve, so excited that you're here with us.
Can't wait.
We are going to talk all about your massive achievements this year, being top producer 3 months in a row during the worst of the recession in 2022, and how you've lived a big, bad, bold life in the wake of all of that achievement. So let's start with what brought you to real estate and how long have you been here?
This is rounding up 3 years now. So I started 2020 was the first year, which was a whole bunch of fun.
Yeah.
Because I had initially worked in human resources. I liked the gist of it, but didn't really feel passionate about it. So I just wasn't really finding joy going to work every day, didn't feel like I was really truly doing something that made me happy, or other people happy, which is what I love to do.
Yes.
People are my thing. So being able to kind of take a step back and leave that job before I even had something lined up was a huge thing, heading into 2020 especially. But I knew that there was something else out there. Few people had mentioned real estate, which I've always been interested in, but I had never even bought a house at that point. So I had no idea what it entailed or how things worked. So I started, reaching out to people I knew who were in real estate, just asking questions, trying to understand what their life looked like. And every person I met with, I was like, yes, this is me, this is what I want. And one person had suggested I'd come to the Woodbeck team because it just made the most sense based on my personality. I was like, sure, might as well give it a try. So after that interview, it just clicked that's meant to be.
I remember that interview like it was yesterday.
I do too.
You were done up from head to toe. You were ready. You interviewed so well. Total pro. Your HR background, I think, is truly perfect for real estate. I agree. It is very people-driven. What you were doing at your HR company was very similar to some of the roles you play here in leadership. So let's talk about that first year. 2020, in the beginning, that March timeframe, April timeframe was scary.
Yeah.
It was this, oh my gosh, I just left my job that I went to school for, and now we're in a global pandemic in real estate, and we're marked non-essential. So your first year in real estate was different.
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh.
Very, different.
So what did that feel like as a first-year agent, and let's talk about the real challenges, because I think the compound effect here over the last 3 years is something that will be remarkable for people that are listening.
Yeah, I think that, the challenge of, first of all, just not being able to come into the office and being able to hear how everybody else works, and growing in this business has been crucial by learning and leading from the front as a leader, and as a new agent being able to hear and learn from those people. So not having that opportunity to come into the office and sit around everybody and be able to chat and talk and bounce ideas was probably the hardest thing, let alone not being able to even go out in public to show houses and with clients. So doing everything virtually, not understanding how to negotiate during that time, not knowing where the market was going because everyone was, running around with their heads cut off.
Yeah.
It's going to crash, things are going down, which quite the opposite happened. So it was just one after the other of difficult, oh my God, did I make the right decision going into something, and having all this happen right off the bat? Literally, I had maybe 2 months of a normal market, and that wasn't even really much because I had a few clients right off the bat, luckily, but it didn't really give me a good basis of this is how it's supposed to work.
Right. And in real estate, even it's great to get your first one under your belt, your second one under your belt, but you really don't know much. Right. It takes doing 5, 6, 10 deals to go, okay, I get it now. I get where I need to build skill. I understand what my role is as an agent. So I remember being in the pandemic, we're doing so many Zooms, you're at your grandma's. Everyone had a ton of personal things going on.
Oh my gosh.
You were helping your family out. And so the first year was a buzz, It just flew by. You were doing what you needed to do. What did you end that year at? Because what I want to show people is the trajectory of hard work paying off.
Yeah. So I ended year one in real estate with 13 closed transactions, which was nowhere near what my goal had been for the year. I also didn't know where to set it at first. I felt like everybody was throwing these big numbers up. So I'm like, okay, 20, 25, something's got to be big. So hitting 13, I believe 3.4 million in volume. And it just didn't feel like that was the best I could do. So that was frustrating, let alone having the hardest year to try to really grow in this business.
Yeah.
But I think that it definitely shaped where the next 2 years were coming in and how much that gave me leverage to truly move forward in such a fast-paced motion to launch my career from last year and this year.
Yep. And really learning, I think first-year agents learn the ropes around choice management.
Yeah.
Right? Most people call it time management, but choice management with what you're doing with your time. And I know that was a huge piece for you, year one, is learning like, okay, if I'm not doing real estate, if I'm not doing the activities, and I'm doing these other things, my business isn't going to grow.
Right.
It's impossible. It just stays stagnant. It stays right where it's at, and over time it's lost.
Yeah.
So year two comes about. We're totally, I mean, I wouldn't say we're fully out of the pandemic.
Right.
We're still having to play in the arena of, rules and guidelines and things that made our jobs difficult. How did year two go for you?
Year two was great. I had a much better year. It still wasn't 100% where I wanted my year to end up, but I closed last year 22 transactions, 5.7 million. I had a couple of deals get pushed into this year, so I was so mad I didn't hit that 6 million. It was such a bummer for me, but that's okay. But year two, the first part of it definitely started out in more of the COVID mindset. And I think choice management too is so huge because especially being stuck at home and having the opportunity to work or not and make that choice was so crucial for a lot of people, and it made or break a lot of real estate agent careers, right? Because people chose, well, I'm not going to be able to work, so I can't, so I'm just not going to. Instead of, okay, let's hop on a Zoom every morning, every evening, and push ourselves to move forward throughout this market, because that shift that we were going through in the book that we read about it just goes to show that the true people who end up on top are the ones who push through those and go through them. And that's the only thing that was on my mind is I don't want to be that person who leaves the real estate market after a year, especially when everybody is telling me, oh, you're going to do great, you're going to do great. It's like, oh, I have these expectations, so I've got to do good. I have to do great. So last year definitely was a better year with almost double of my transactions and volume. But I still knew it wasn't like 100% where I needed my business to be as far as what I wanted. Financially, it was fantastic. Something I never thought could happen at 25, 24 into 25. So it's been, I mean, just ever growing.
It has. Now, one thing that I think people are going to pick up on is the constant dissatisfaction with where you land, right? And I think, you can either look at that as like, well, I need therapy, it's never good enough, right? Or most high achievers feel that way. They think that way because there is this integrity line of, I know I can, I want to grow, I want to constantly evolve. And so there is this strive for excellence. And when you hit a certain platform, there's another one to hit again. And so it's not this, what I did wasn't good enough. It was, I did that and now I know I can do the next thing. So with that said, let's talk about as you become a high achiever in real estate, which here in Michigan, our average price point overall is about $225 here in the state. And so when someone's doing 13 deals and then 25 deals, that is above average for our state, for the MLS. So you're already outpacing majority of the MLS. We move into your year three, which in real estate, normally year three for agents is referrals start coming in more easily, repeat business starts coming in more easily, and you've compounded skills where you understand no matter what, I stand in the gap. I have basic activities I have to do every single day to achieve what I want to get. So year three comes about. You've got a big year plan personally, right? This is already in the works. You're engaged. You're getting married. You have a honeymoon to plan for. You are by far the most creative party planner that I've ever come across.
Thanks.
So it was no surprise that your bachelorette parties, your bridal showers, your wedding, your honeymoon was just spectacular. And they all had multi-prong events attached to it.
Yeah, it was
like
a lot.
17 weddings in 1 year is what I felt like watching your amazing ride.
Just about.
Yes. So let's talk about that, because people come to real estate for two things: happiness and freedom.
Right.
Which is what you came here for. I want something that's going to be more fulfilling. I want something where my effort meets my income.
Yeah.
Where I'm going to be really excited to get up and go to work every day. And what I have found happens is most high achievers come here, they start achieving, their effort does meet their income, you get a taste of excellence and go, okay, I want more. I want more, which is what we just talked about.
Yeah.
And if you're not aligned with full service brokerages, which we're not the only place in the world that's like that, or taught how to live a life by design, you can get caught up in that rat race of, okay, I'm just on the road, I'm missing date night, I'm missing all of the things that matter most to me, which is what I came here for, is to provide for those things, those people. So year 3, you have the opportunity to go, okay, I can level up, I can make even more money, I can serve more people, and you have. You set out to reach, I think, what was it, 7 million?
Yeah, 7 million was my initial commitment for this year.
Yep, and you're going to round out just over 10.
Yeah.
I looked at your numbers this morning. So you outpaced your original commitment in a declining market. Market is down by 30%. You overachieved your original commitment by 40%, which is unbelievable. I truly mean that. Like, I love you. I adore you. Personally, I know you. I think you're a fantastic human. But when I look at your work here in real estate, it is inspiring. It's what leaders like myself came here to say, this is possible. Right? If I can do it, you can do it too. You just got to want it, right? You got to put forth the action. So I have been asking people what they want to know. Because if we put out there on the platform, like, here you are, you did these amazing things. You traveled every month this year.
Yeah.
You planned and executed a wedding.
Yep.
You planned and went on a 30-day honeymoon.
Pretty much.
Amazing. And then you're now also pregnant. Yes, so exciting. These are the life things. This is what we come to the world of work for, to feed these things. So with all of those things happening, let's talk about some questions that people were like, oh my gosh, this is a reality for somebody. One of our Thrive members actually proposed a question that I want to start with, which is, how do you achieve that and stay so positive and confident? What is it that allows you to do that? Because you're human.
Yeah.
Of course you have moments where the deal's falling apart, the customer was really difficult. Maybe you made mistakes, right?
Yeah.
We're human. These things happen. So you have down moments. You're not a robot. You're not programmed to be like, everything is wonderful all the time. So how do you show up, though, in your most moments throughout your day as a positive, confident person?
I think kind of what you said is having mistakes and knowing that's what you go through as an agent and as a human. It just is something that I can't let myself get down about, because it will change my outlook on the day and my outlook on the week and my outlook on like how I'm pushing myself to move forward. And I think it's one of those look good, feel good type of moments. When I'm feeling positive, I know that that relays well for other people. And I think being a lead agent and being the head of our Thrive Well committee has been such a reason for me to show that positivity, because I want others to feel that way. And I just love being surrounded by that. So I want to be able to portray that. Because bad days happen all the time. I mean, my whole first trimester, I wanted to crawl into bed and die, but I didn't. And I think it's because I'm surrounded by people who allow me to feel like I can have an off day, but it's not going to let myself spiral into off days and off weeks. Because it's truly not something that's going to help me feel like I can push through and have a better day or a better business because of it. So in my mind, it just makes sense that being positive and focusing on the good has helped me to see the good and allow me to see how I can get through a negative situation.
I love that. I think something that I hope people are hearing is that you're attached to something that's bigger than yourself.
Yes.
Right? Your leadership journey, your ability to come in and say, I'm having a bad day and I'm still showing up, because that is what I want for you.
Absolutely.
I want you guys to be able to do the same thing, which is absolutely. The reason we have the layout and the environment we do here with these different positions and roles and opportunities is exactly for that.
Yeah.
Leadership should have you performing at a higher level because of the expectation that you have on yourself to show up for others.
Right.
It doesn't allow you to go, I'm having a bad day, stay home.
Right.
Right? Because there's a reliance that people have.
Absolutely.
I love that. So in the thought process that success leaves clues, one of the other questions people had was, when it came to lead generation, what was something that you absolutely said, I'm not doing anything else until this is done?
So for me, it was throughout this year, knowing I had such a busy year planned and so many events and things to go to and do, I never let myself not get my tasks done that I had scheduled through our CRM, because those were how I functioned and how I was able to connect with my leads, my clients, my past clients, my future sphere, everything. So being able to go in and not let my day continue until every single thing on that checklist was done helped me to be able to know, like, okay, I got done what I absolutely needed to. Now I can fit in what the rest of my day had planned for me, whether it be appointments or wedding planning or whatever else came up. But I couldn't tell myself that I was able to do those things truly unless I felt like my business was where it needed to be for the day, because I knew that if I didn't, I wouldn't feel good about doing what I could do in my personal life, because it all related, right? Because if I felt like my business was declining, I wouldn't feel great about planning my wedding or being able to plan a trip or whatever it may be. But I know I needed to earn that time off and choose when I got my work done, not if I got my work done.
Yes, I love that. And that is, you know, we talk about earning.
Right.
Earning your time away, earning your vacation coming up. Like, if you know you're going to be gone, of course, double down right now. Right? So that you go away, you don't have to think twice about it. There's no making up for it on the back end. There's no catching up. It's done. You're in advance. You're living kind of in the future of those tasks being doubled. But I think the more important thing to hear, because people are aware of that, right? That's rampant as a discussion in the industry. But your integrity around it is really important. And I think that's a driving force for you that I've seen show up day in and day out throughout this last year, is understanding that if I don't do this, the only person I'm really disappointing is myself.
Absolutely.
Right? If I'm not going to follow through with what I know too much not to do it.
Right.
Right? It's almost like once you see it, you can't unsee it.
Right.
And it's knowing that Pareto principle. I know that this 20% of my role, if I get this done, if I knock out the big rocks, everything else will take care of itself. If I have showings to go on, great. If I have a trip to go on, great. Like, everything else will be taken care of.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're on vacation a lot. You're traveling all over. How did you still end up closing business? How is that possible for an agent?
I always made sure to set my clients up for that expectation that I would be out of town, especially for my honeymoon, because I knew I didn't want to work the month of July. I said, you know what, I'm taking it off completely. So
did you guys just hear that?
the whole month.
The highest time in real estate in Michigan. She's like, I'm not doing it.
No. And I knew that's what I wanted my year to lead up to. I wanted to be able to truly enjoy every minute of my wedding, my planning, taking time off, and spending it with my husband, and just being able to 100% be so focused on only what we were doing and enjoying and not on my business. So being able to prepare my clients whenever I would be out of town, but on small trips, I would be happy working off of my phone or remotely. I just had to set my own boundaries and make sure I set those boundaries with my clients as well, as far as this is when I'm available to help. Nothing is truly a fire that can't be handled the next day or business day or whatever it might be. But having the transactions team here handle my transactions behind the scenes and everything that needed to be done was crucial, because I don't think I would have been able to truly enjoy or feel comfortable leaving and saying I'm, hands off right now, without having them and knowing that they are the most professional people to handle my clients, that my clients already knew. So they've already been introduced, they know who's behind the scenes helping. So if they had to make a phone call for me instead of me being able to while I'm gone, nobody skipped a beat. So it wasn't anything that was like, I don't know you, I don't know why you're calling me, where's my agent?
Yes.
So being able to have the support of, hey, we got you, weekends, weeknights, whatever it might be, is the best feeling, because my clients feel protected, they feel safe and comfortable, I feel safe and comfortable, and I feel like I can have my life and enjoy it too, and make sure I'm supplying that personal happiness along with my professional happiness.
Yes, that leverage point is everything, because
Absolutely.
obviously here at Thrive we know no one succeeds alone.
Absolutely.
But if you're an agent listening, you could do this through third-party services. You could do this through partnering with other agents.
Yep.
There are ways to go about it, but understanding, if you look at your journey, and I think that's the most important thing to look at, is your happiness level. These are things I look at, right, with agents who are high achievers.
Yeah.
Like, money comes and goes.
Sure.
It's everywhere. It's there for you to take as much as you are willing to work for.
Yeah.
And when I look at you, I kind of ask myself, of all agents that I work with, what is the happiness level? What is the joy level, meaning the overall encompassing lifestyle? Are you happy with it, or are you striving to get out of something? Where are you at? The people that you surround yourself with, your hobbies outside of work, which you have a plethora of hobbies, which is amazing, that you have time for, that you enjoy doing, that you show up for.
Yeah.
And then where is your life headed, right? Are you in plan mode? Are you doing things that fulfill kind of life buckets and things like that? And you, across the board, hit all the buckets. And I think that is what is most inspiring for people, is beyond the transactions, beyond the work that earns you this lifestyle, you're living it.
Yeah.
You're living proof that it's possible. And I just think if there could be a poster child for real estate, like, please let it be Genevieve, because it's amazing.
Okay.
Like, I mean, I'm not mad about it. Yeah.
I'll do it, I guess.
I love it. Okay, another question I got was, how do you plan your day? Like, truly, what does your day look like? Let's say you don't have a trip that you're going on.
Yeah.
It's a Monday, I don't know. You're not going on a trip today. What does that day look like for you? How do you make sure that it kind of stays in the cadence of achievement?
Earlier this year, I was very adamant about setting my schedule for the day as time blocking. So the night before, the morning of, when I was, drinking my tea or whatever, I'd go through my day hour by hour and say, fill in, this is what I have to do at this hour. These are the appointments I have. This is when I'm fitting in my lead generation for the day. What else in my day can I fit in, or what else do I need to get done outside of these times? So being able to have the just strict time blocking to understand this is where my day is today. I don't necessarily do it as much by the end of the year, because I've gotten into such a habit of it that it's a mental thing now. So I wake up and I know what I need to do, but knowing and prioritizing the things I have to do for my business first is on my mind constantly. So what time am I fitting in what I need to do today? My lead generation, typically it's in the morning, and then it's emails, follow-up, current clients, things like that, and then later in my day is appointments, photos, whatever it might be, and then enjoying the rest of my day if I have time for it, which I typically do now. So that's wonderful.
Love it. I'm hearing preparedness.
Absolutely.
Which is critical.
Yes.
And I think a lot of people overlook that just simple task of prepare for it. That's it. Take the 10, 20, 60 minutes the night before and prepare for the day ahead. That's it. And prepare can be, I reviewed my calendar and now I'm fully aware of what my pathway is tomorrow. Right? Rather than kind of running by the seat of your pants, missing meetings, being late, etc.
Stresses me out.
Yes.
I'm such a planner. I hate being late. Like, the thought of being late to something stresses me out. So I am all about having everything in my organized planner ready to go, so I know exactly what my day entails.
Yep. And I think, again, hopefully people are hearing just that integrity line of where you hold your standard personally. My standard is I don't want to be late. I don't want to be sloppy. I'm going to be prepared, and I'm going to show up that way. And that has led to a very prosperous business and beautiful life.
Yes.
I love it. Okay, so if you could give one piece of advice that you feel a brand new agent should take right off the bat, what would that be?
I think it absolutely has to be, make sure you are working with people who are aligned with what you need in your business and where you feel that you want to go. Because some agents do very well on a part-time schedule and doing what they need to do throughout their day and just have real estate on the side. For me personally, I needed support. I needed training. I had no idea what I was doing. Didn't buy a house. I didn't even know what real estate was. I thought you closed at the house that you bought. Like, I didn't know how that worked. So being able to understand your needs and knowing and understanding what a brokerage is going to offer you will make or break your real estate career. Because I truly know that I would not be happy or successful if I didn't have the support and team that I have here, because it's what I need to prosper.
Yeah. Love it. Now, what about an achieving agent like yourself? What would you say is kind of this underlying understanding that you have now, 3 years in, achieving excellence?
Yeah.
What is something that you feel is missed by top producers that they should definitely focus on?
I think it's almost along the same lines of having a support that you need for your business, because as your business grows, you almost need the support more because you've got more clients to service. So being able to have people that you rely on to help make those transactions go smoothly and help make those transactions flow to a point where you can focus on future business during a transaction and not get stuck in the roller coaster of, here's my business, I have to focus on this now, I can't worry about what's going to happen next month, 2 months down the road, and then you hit that low point of, crap, I don't have any business right now, is so important, because I also think that prioritizing what you're doing on a daily basis and what you're doing for your personal life and your business life it can be easy to get lost when you're in that top producing moment or high producing moment, because you're only so focused on it that you get burnt out very easily.
Yes. Yeah, because you're stuck in the busy.
Yeah.
That star agent that's doing it all
Yep.
and ultimately leaving money on the table and not in control of their time at all. Okay, so last piece that I know people ask me about was, how do you go about projecting your years? So you had a goal this year, you had a commitment, and what is your projection for next year? What is your next step in your career?
I love this question. Last year, I knew that I not only had a busy year with what was going on in my personal life, but I knew that this was going to be the year that I can pour everything into it when I'm not on trips and doing things and planning, because I wanted to be able to set myself up and truly, truly earn the financial goal and the volume goal that I set out to hit, because my whole point of being in real estate in the first place was to be a mom and have the flexibility of loving my life and not feeling like I was struggling to work or find money or do things as a mom.
Yeah.
So I knew that this year, I was hoping that I'd get pregnant, of course, as quickly as possible. But I didn't actually know that it could have came, later next year. But regardless, I knew that this full year I would have the most opportune moment to truly explode my business and get the most out of it. So just based on my numbers from last year, I set my numbers up as far as volume goes, because that's where I knew I needed to be financially to feel 100% comfortable, which has obviously, gone well over and above, which is fantastic, and I'm super excited about it. And it makes me feel so much more confident that looking into next year, planning for baby, family, new time schedule in life, that I can take a step back and feel comfortable taking a step back for next year, which sounds crazy because it still sounds crazy to say.
Of course.
But I know that's what I need and that's what I want and have wanted.
Yes.
But it's going to feel weird because it's not something that I'm used to.
Yeah. It's a pattern interrupt, right?
It is.
And I think what I love most about this, and I know it's been, and thank you for sharing that, because I think that's important for people to see top producers, high achievers say, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good. I don't need to strive for more in this category. I've hit it. I want to either sustain it, or I've earned so much, I can back it down a little bit for a moment or forever, who knows. I love that, because I think, again, it's a missed piece in the industry of exactly why you came here.
Yeah.
And staying focused on what brought me here. Is it still the same? Or do I need to evolve in some way, or simply say, hey, it's okay.
Yeah.
Guess what? You're going to move that energy of achievement towards family, towards being a mom, and still run a really great real estate career.
Yeah.
I saw your numbers that you're looking for next year. That is not sluggish. I know it might feel that way for you, right? Because you're used to saying, oh no, I'm going to achieve more, I'm going to grow year over year, but you're growing in different aspects, which is what this industry is here for, is to allow for that choice and allow you to say, oh yeah, I can do that and I can do this, and if I need to go full throttle again, I will.
Right.
You know exactly how.
Yes.
So awesome. I love that. Thank you for sharing that with everybody.
You're welcome.
How can people reach you? If they want to know more, if they need to learn more from you, how can they reach you?
Call me, beat me if you want to reach me. I am available through everything. Facebook, Instagram, text, email. I am a very quick responder, which initially wasn't the best, I think, for myself and my clients, because I set the expectation. I'm a quick one, but I can't help it. I love being in communication with people. I love talking. I love answering questions and helping in any way I can. So I am available through all avenues.
Awesome. So Genevieve Craig on Instagram,
Yep.
Facebook.
Facebook.
You can Google her.
Yep.
She's a public realtor. So thank you. Adore you. It's been awesome.